Good evening and welcome to the national news broadcast on Channel I, and we're ready to bring you the top stories from home and around the world. I'm Natalia Virvatan.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Charita Viniparachi, and now let's move on to the headlines for tonight's news.
Repatriation of foreigners from Wuhan City, China begins. Condition of the Chinese female patient afflicted with coronavirus returning to normal. The Prime Minister says there is no need to have unnecessary fears over coronavirus. A report says that no notification has been made regarding wearing face masks. Palestinians protest on the Middle East peace plan of President Donald Trump.
And now on the top story for tonight on the coronavirus, hundreds of foreign nationals are being evacuated from Wuhan. The center of China's coronavirus outbreak has more deaths and cases are confirmed. The death toll has risen to 132 with 6,061 confirmed cases of the virus in mainland China. The number of confirmed cases of the Wuhan coronavirus has overtaken the 2003 SARS outbreak inside of mainland China as multiple countries evacuated their citizens from the city. Australia has planned to quarantine its evacuees on Christmas Island, 2,000 kilometers from the mainland. Japan, the US and the EU are also repatriating their citizens. British Airways has suspended all flights to and from mainland China as the UK's Foreign Office warned against all but essential travel to the country. The Chinese National Health Commission has indicated that 10 more days may take for the outbreak to peak, according to foreign reports. As of today, 6,061 confirmed cases of the virus have been reported in mainland China, including 132 deaths. The number of cases grew by around 1,500 from yesterday, a more than 30% increase. At least 91 cases of the virus have been reported outside China. Similarly to SARS and influenza viruses, the new coronavirus is a particular risk for elderly people and those with pre-existing illnesses. Australia's 600 evacuees will be held at a facility on Christmas Island for 2 weeks, built to accommodate more than 1,000 people. New Zealand will cooperate with Canberra to bring its 53 citizens home alongside Australian evacuees. Some 200 Japanese nationals have been flown from Wuhan and have landed at Tokyo's Haneda Airport. Around 650 others said they wanted to be repatriated, and the Japanese government said new flights were being planned. About 200 Americans, including workers from the local U.S. consulate, are due to arrive in the U.S. after leaving Wuhan on an evacuation flight. The UK Foreign Office is arranging the evacuation of about 200 Britons who wanted to leave the area. A flight carrying 250 French nationals is also expected to leave Wuhan, while Italy is planning a flight for more than 50 of its citizens tomorrow. South Korea said about 700 of its nationals would leave on 4 flights this week. Both Malaysia and the Philippines also said they would evacuate their citizens in and around Wuhan. Meanwhile, Hong Kong announced plans to slash cross-border travel between the city and mainland China. Confirmations of person-to-person transmission in Germany, Vietnam, Taiwan and Japan have heightened to concern over the spread of the virus. The United Arab Emirates has also confirmed the first case in the Middle East. In the meantime, China has agreed that the World Health Organization will send international experts to the country.
And meanwhile, Director General of Health Services Specialist Physician Dr. Anirja Singh says that the condition of the female Chinese national undergoing treatment for coronavirus disease at the IDH hospital in Colombo is returning to normal. He further says that as the government and the health ministry is taking the necessary measures, there is no reason for the general public to be unduly concerned over the situation.
As guided by His Excellency the President, Honorable Minister of Health, appointed a National Committee for Preparedness on Coronavirus, and the committee met, and before the committee, the technical committee chaired by me also was convened, and the technical committee minutes were brought before the National Committee, and certain decisions were taken, and as a result of decisions, the Health Ministry and also the committee members are in the process of implementing those decisions. So far, we have found out only one coronavirus patient who is a Chinese lady, and she is positive for coronavirus, but there wasn't anybody else who was positive so far. Of course, there are some suspected patients due to their symptoms, but this doesn't mean that they are going to be, coronavirus, all of them. There are few patients who have been admitted to IDH and the other hospitals that we have elevated preparedness level have been admitted to these hospitals on suspicion, but this doesn't mean that they are coronavirus. They are in the process of being investigated, and generally high probability is that they would become negative. So, but anyway, till the results are obtained, we can't say anything about this. As far as the Sri Lankan students living in China, some of them have arrived in Sri Lanka, but all of them are from the areas that were not much vulnerable to this virus. But then what happens with regard to Sri Lankan students who arrived in Sri Lanka was that they were gathered separately, and they were instructed as to how to behave, how to stay at home, and how that they will be monitored for next 10 to 14 days. And also they have created sort of a social media network among themselves and with the Ministry of Health, and they are in constant conversation with Ministry of Health officials. And of course, from Wuhan, none of the students have arrived because the Wuhan is still locked down. But when they come to Sri Lanka, we don't know when they are going to come. We will have to observe them for a period of up to 14 days.
Specialist physician Dr. Sudat Samaravira has expressed opinion regarding the medical reports of patients suspected to have been afflicted with the coronavirus at a media briefing today.
This is spreading in the country, so because of that, the community has need not to be panic about that, and that at the moment we are at a very low risk of spreading the disease, and we have taken the maximum effort to identify any person coming into the country with the signs and symptoms of this disease at the airport, and if such a person identified, they will be admitted to the infectious disease hospital and will be further investigated. And also that other people who are coming from China, we advise them to be at home for 2 weeks, have a good rest and be vigilant, and if they develop high fever, cough, cold, sore throat, body aches and pains, or difficulty in breathing, those are the signs and symptoms of novel coronavirus disease, that we advise them to promptly report to a qualified medical officer, preferably a government health facility. Then we can decide whether they need admission and further investigation. So in this way we can control this disease coming into the country and spreading in the country. Yeah, worksite that there are a lot of Chinese workers are here. So in the worksite also that we are advising them to be confined into the worksite, and if they develop fever, cough and cold, these symptoms, promptly seek treatment from a government health facility. Then we can identify that, we can decide whether these people will need further investigation and treatment. The Medical Research Institute is carrying out this diagnostic test for the novel coronavirus infection, and that it has been carried out in several patients, and the investigation for other patients is now underway.
Minister Bandula Gunawardena says that foods, beverages and other facilities required by Sri Lankan students stranded in Wuhan City have been provided through mediation of the embassy and the Sri Lankan residents in the city. He also said the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is monitoring the situation. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that he was engaged in telephone conversations with Sri Lankan students in the Wuhan province. The minister added that he was told Wuhan City is completely sealed. The students also reported to have told him that there is a shortage of some sort of food items. The minister added that the embassy, with the cooperation of Sri Lankan residents, are providing necessary facilities to 30 Sri Lankans in the city. He also said that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has made arrangements to provide airline facilities for Sri Lankan students who wish to return at concessionary airfares. The minister also said that the Chinese government has provided opportunities for the Sri Lankan students to return to the motherland through relief air ticketing packages. Another batch of 25 students who were engaged in numerous professions in different areas in China have returned to the island from the Katunaik airport today. Upon examination of their health condition at the new arrival terminal of the airport, the authorities have established the fact that they were not afflicted with the disease and made arrangements to send them to their homes. Programs are also being implemented to enlighten and conduct tests on Chinese nationals at workplaces as well.
Minister Bandula Gunawardena requests the general public not to be deceived by gossip and false information regarding the coronavirus. The minister at a media briefing in Colombo today said that if the viral condition propagated to the level of a severe infectious condition, the government would release the necessary instructions to seek protection from the disease. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that not at any instance instructions have been provided to the government or to the people to purchase and wear face masks. The minister further said that certain businessmen were trying to exploit the tragic situation for their economic advantage. There have been reports of requesting children to use face masks, making it as an urgent necessity. He added that this is an extremely despicable situation. The minister also said that the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Health may take protective measures if the need arises. However, such situation has not yet been created. No decision has been taken to close down schools or to hold events such as sports competitions. The minister has also informed the general public, including parents, that in the event of an emergency infectious situation, the government will issue the necessary instructions through media without delay. He has stressed that people should not instill fear into their minds by believing false stories being propagated through social media. He has pointed out that gossip has been spread over the fainting of a youth near the World Trade Center yesterday as a result of being afflicted with the coronavirus.
And specialist physicians point out that there is no need to entertain any unfounded fears on the coronavirus. They reiterate that only infected persons need to wear face masks as well. Health sources say that people were unduly concerned over the propagation of the coronavirus due to publication of media reports in this connection. It has also been observed that Chinese nationals were greatly perturbed by the practice of looking at them with suspicion. Doctors stresses that although it is important to get ready to face any infectious condition, there is no need to be unnecessarily alarmed over such a disease condition. Specialist physician Anil Jayasinghe commented on this issue.
As the Ministry of Health, we don't sort of advise public to wear mask. It is not an essential thing. But with regard to transmission of this disease is transmitted through close contact, through the respiratory tract. So therefore, we advise people to avoid public gatherings as much as possible, and also avoid close contacts, and also not to touch the face, the eyes and mouth, nose with your own hands, because if droplets are on some surface, the hand can be the carrier and get the virus in. So therefore, what is mostly essential is to upkeep your level of hygiene, and the most essential is washing hands frequently with soap and water, so that the germs are not getting into your body.
Maximum retail price has been fixed for face masks. Health Minister Rupavahini says that this decision has been taken in consideration of the reports of the sale of face masks at exorbitant prices. The maximum retail price for a disposable face mask with a loop or a surgical face mask is 15 rupees. The maximum retail price of a particulate respirator mask of the N95 type is 150 rupees. The Health Ministry reiterates that the law will be implemented sternly against traders who sell face masks at higher prices or who conceal stocks.
Award-winning Sri Lankan researcher and innovator Manju Gunawardena has been successful in turning the terminal building of the Katunaik airport into a zone freed from germs including viruses. The invention will prevent any person being afflicted with the coronavirus from an infected person within the airport premises. Manju Gunawardhan has introduced the nanotechnology device as a result of 7 years of research in the year 2012. The apparatus could be installed in any type of building with numerous types of germs, including virus and bacteria. The technology based on the creation of the scientist's ability of the equipment to remove bacteria and virus impurities when a nanoparticle comes across the light emanating from sunlight or an electric bulb. 22 such devices were installed at the Karunaik International Airport yesterday afternoon. Manju Gunawardhan's project is backed by a patent issued by the United States of America.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has instructed officials to take speedy measures to implement new town planning and new housing projects. He has given the order participating in the progress evaluating meeting of the Ministry of Urban Development, Water Supply and Housing Facilities today. The Prime Minister has also ordered to commence works on all abandoned town plans and housing programs. Progress on the construction and repairs pertaining to development of buildings, roads, railway tracks and parks centering on Colombo Port City and other cities were also discussed on this occasion. The Prime Minister has also focused attention on the current status of the garbage disposal projects. It has also been disclosed at the meeting that work on several housing projects commenced by the National Housing Development Authority have been abandoned in the past 4.5 years. It has also been established that funds reserved for housing constructions were not utilized. The meeting has dealt with the issue of constructing dormitories for sportsmen and women arriving in Colombo from remote areas. The meeting has also revealed the fact that nothing constructive has been reported on the billions of rupees spent on propaganda activities in the past 4.5 years. The 105th ceremony to commemorate founders of the Sri Lanka Ramanya Mahanikaya was held at the Sri Sarananda Pirivena in Anuradhapura today. Mahanayaka of the Sri Lanka Ramanya Mahanikaya, Most Venerable Napane Premasirithera, has presided over the event. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has also participated. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that a major issue has arisen in the country regarding the coronavirus. He added that the measures taken in this connection as a government have been most commendable. The Prime Minister added that therefore no unnecessary fears need not be entertained in this regard. He added that he believed that unnecessary propaganda should not be carried out on this issue. A meritorious ceremony to ordain 100 children has also taken place in parallel to this ceremony. A group including Speaker Karu Jayasuriya has also graced the occasion.
The government says that it is the policy of the President to withdraw the factors that led to protest and agitations through a resolution of such problems. The government requests the relevant groups to refrain from such agitations and to assist the employment procurement process as promised by the government. Handing over of jobs to nearly 53,000 graduates will commence on the 1st of March. A communique issued by the Presidential Media Division says that officials of the President's office spent a large amount of time to listen to the grievances of the protesting groups and to provide solutions. It has been found out that demands of the agitation parties are similar in outlook. It has also been reported that today alone 6 groups have come in front of the President's office and engaged in agitations. The wastage of time and energy and the hardships caused to the general public as a result of protest and roadblocks have also been pointed out. The agitators have been given full freedom to engage in protest in front of the President's office. This is a measure not taken any other government in history. The media communique further says that complaint of the necessary data for provision of employment to graduates and high national diploma holders has reached final stage. The relevant programs and financial allocations is also being carried out. The objective of the government is to provide jobs suited to the degree qualifications according to the vacancies available in the government, semi-government organizations. Attention of the government has also been focused on the job security and permanence of those who have completed 180 days of work recruited to state institutions on temporary, casual and contract basis. The several of eligible recruits will be made permanent upon discussions with relevant institutions. The media report adds that an extensive study has been conducted in the past 2 months on the problems faced by students at state universities and other higher educational institutions. The aim of the government is to provide speedy solutions to this problem.
This feature identifies the period between 2005 and 2015 as a period of massive transformation in the fields of politics, economic and social activities in the country. It has also been pointed out that the period prior to the year 2010 could be regarded as an era which had paved the way for a gigantic development process through elimination of terrorism and dawn of peace. Analysts say that they could not forget the fact that a tangible process of development had taken place in the country during the 2005 to 2010 era, despite the prevalence of a dangerous war in the island. Recollections prior to a decade feature focuses once again on this era. It was due to a pledge given through the Mahinda Chintana policy statement at the 2005 presidential election that the Moragahakanda Kaluganga project was originated. The inauguration in this connection was ceremoniously conducted at the Alahara Road in Naula, Matale on the 25th of January 2007. Fifth Executive President of Sri Lanka, Mahinda Rajapaksa, had declared open the commemoration plaque and cut the maiden slab of soil at the ceremony. The total estimated cost of the project amounted to 4 billion rupees. Several more development programs had been implemented in parallel to the program. The most prominent in this connection was the construction of houses for the people who were deprived of lands and houses. The President had presented new deeds symbolizing the occasion. The then President Mahinda Rajapaksa, addressing the ceremony, said that the great reservoir of Moragahakanda would enable to uplift the lives of the people in the north and east as well. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa said that we should not forget the fact that the massive stream of Moragahakanda waters being released to the north and east would douse the flames of racism spread by the vicious terrorism. By today, the Moragahakanda massive irrigation project is nurturing hundreds of thousands of cultivated lands, fulfilling the expectations of the farmers of Rajarata. The program to divert the waters of Moragahakanda to the north, east and the northwest is being further implemented. Welcome back and getting into more local stories now. Here are some judicial news. Parliamentarian Ranjan Ramanayaka has been further detained till the 12th of next month. He has been produced before the Nugegoda Magistrate Courts today on charges of obstructing judicial duties. Ranjan Ramanayaka was arrested with the release of a voice tape containing controversial telephone conversation. The magistrate was ordered that Ramanayaka should be produced before the government analyst for a voice test at 10 a.m. on the 7th of next month. Driver of Patali Champika Ranavaka, who has been named as the second suspect in the complaint against Patali Champika Ranavaka over a road accident, has given a confidential statement before the Colombo Magistrate Courts today. The suspect has delivered the statement at the official chamber of Colombo Additional Magistrate Kanchan Niranjala de Silva.
And a meeting between Speaker Karu Jayasuriya and Attorney General Dapo de Oliveira took place at the Speaker's official residence yesterday. The meeting was convened according to a decision taken at the Constitutional Council in Parliament on the 24th of this month. The AG has enlightened the Speaker at the meeting of the measures followed by the Department of Attorney General. Speaker and the Attorney General have come into an agreement to act in a manner to preserve the dignity of the relevant institutions when taking decisions by the Attorney General's Department. Outcome of the meeting is to be presented to the Constitutional Council.
Minister Chamal Rajapaksa says that a new methodology has been prepared to provide rice to the consumers throughout the year without shortage and without price increases. He made these remarks participating in the live Public Day program telecast over the national television yesterday. Minister Chamal Rajapaksa said that everywhere there was red rice for 84 rupees. He added that even today one could purchase this commodity item for 85 rupees. At the Satosa, there has been a problem pertaining to Kiri Samba as there was no price control on this item. The minister also said that today Kiri Samba is available for less than 125 rupees at the Sadosa outlets. In other places, it could be purchased for 185 rupees. Only a fraction of the population consumes Kiri Samba. Minister Chamal Rajapaksa further said that they have introduced a new method to purchase paddy from the farmers. Accordingly, a receipt is to be provided with a record on several facts, including the type of paddy being produced and to whom the harvest is being sold. The minister also said that the new program also enables the government to find out how much rice stocks are in the possession of the mill owner and the quantities of rice available in different varieties. The minister also said that the available rice stocks are to be distributed systematically throughout the year and to provide rice at reasonable prices to the consumer.
And the first German-Sri Lankan conference on sustainable mobility was held in Colombo yesterday. The conference was held under the patronage of Minister Mahinda Amaravira and German Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Dr. John Rode. The key objective of the conference was to promote Sri Lanka and German cooperation in the field of sustainable mobility. Head of Mobility Concepts Transport Policy Unit of German Ministry of Economic Affairs and Energy, Dr. Heselmann, Chief Delegate of the German Industry and Commerce in Sri Lanka, Andreas Hergenbrother, were present on this occasion. The delegation of German Industry and Commerce in Sri Lanka has organized the event on this occasion of a German high-ranking business delegation, which was attended by close to 100 decision-makers in politics and business. The conference was organized in the frame of an initiative made by the German Ministry of Economic Affairs and Energy. Currently, mobility accounts for about 40% of the energy consumption and is the main source of energy consumption in Sri Lanka. As ratified nation of COP21 and the Vulnerable Climatic Forum, Sri Lanka is committed to reduce pollution emission and to increase energy efficiency.
So we could travel regionally on one platform.
Heavy traffic congestion, especially in urban areas, mainly due to poor traffic management, increasing use of private vehicles, undisciplined drivers, inefficient enforcement of regulation and outdated fleet of vehicles. The need to promoting public transport modes over private transport modes. The need to reduce the increase of fatal accidents. Around 7 to 8% die daily due to road accident in the country. Improving intermodal link across all type of transport modes. The need to manage the increasing trend in vehicle fleet in the country, including the setting up proper methods to discard non-roadworthy vehicle with outdated technology. Reduce vehicle emission and fossil fuel usage for transport. Setting up of effective pricing and taxation measures and divert subsidies to targeted areas to manage vehicle fleet and promote public transport usage. Promote the efficient movement of people and goods, the support of sustainable economic development. Promote social inclusion to provide access to all. Provide a safe and secure transport system and minimize damage, injuries and loss of lives, and protect environmental sustainability and ensure optimum use of existing resource and terms of transport, infrastructure, equipment across all network modes and users. I am very happy to note the serious interest shown by a large number of German firms. The government of Sri Lanka welcomes investments mainly in areas such as bus fleet development, modernization of the railway network and the infrastructure measures for increasing energy efficiency and the better use of ICT technology in transport operation, etc.
I think attractiveness of cities comes with transport and logistics and mobility solutions. And I would say Germany also has challenges, but we also have proven and tested approaches and solutions. When you look at rankings of most livable cities in the world, for example, from the Mercer report, which is published every year, about, I think, among the 20 first top cities, 5 of them are German, 4 are Swiss, 2, 1 Austrian, So, and when you ask the mayors of these cities, what makes your city attractive? The answer is always, we have a very good and reliable public transport system. And I think this is also a challenge for Colombo. I am in the fortunate position to work where I live, so I don't need every day, like a lot of people who live in Colombo, more time to get to work than, let's say, 5 years ago. So I'm very happy that this conference brings German expertise and Sri Lankan stakeholders together to find solutions for these very important challenges.
And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Do it just tomorrow at the very same time.
Good night.